नरं चैव नरोत्तमा देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 21, The Dynasty of Bharata. Text 17. Ishvara alambanam chittam Ishvaralambanam chittam kurvato ananya radhasaha kurvato ananya radhasaha maya gunamayi rajan maya gunamayi rajan swapnavat pratyaliyata swapnavat pratyaliyata Ishvaralambanam chittam kurvato nanyaradhasaha maya gunamayi rajan swapnavat pratyaliyata. Ishvaralambanam chittam kurvato nanyaradhasaha maya gunamayi rajan swapnavat pratyaliyata. Ishvaralambanam chittam kurvato nanyaradhasaha maya gunamayi rajan swapnavat pratyaliyata. Ishvaralambanam chittam kurvato nanyaradhasaha maya gunamayi rajan swapnavat pratyaliyata. Ishvara alambanam, completely taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Chittam, his consciousness. Kurvataha, fixing. Ananyaradhasaha, for Rantideva, who was undeviating and desired nothing other than to serve the Supreme Lord. Maya, the illusory energy. Gunamayi, consisting of the three modes of nature. Rajan, O Maharaj Parikshit, Swapnavat, like a dream. Pratyaliyata, merged. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O Maharaj Parikshit, because King Rantideva was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires, the Lord's illusory energy, Maya, could not exhibit herself before him. On the contrary, for him, Maya entirely vanished, exactly like a dream. Please repeat this translation after me. O Maharaj Parikshit, because King Rantideva was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires, The Lord's illusory energy, Maya, could not exhibit herself before him. On the contrary, for him, Maya entirely vanished, exactly like a dream. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As it is said, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hoy andhakar, Jaha Krishna taha nahi mayar odhikar. Just as there is no chance that darkness can exist in the sunshine, in a pure Krishna conscious person, there can be no existence of Maya. The Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Daivi Shesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. If one wants to be free from the influence of Maya, the illusory energy, one must become Krishna conscious and always keep Krishna prominent within the core of his heart. In Bhagavad Gita 9.34, the Lord advises that one always think of him. Manmana bhavamadbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. In this way, by always being Krishna-minded or Krishna-conscious, one can surpass the influence of Maya. Mayam etam tarantite. Because Rantideva was Krishna-conscious, he was not under the influence of the illusory energy. The word swapnavat is significant in this connection. Because in the material world, the mind is absorbed in materialistic activities, when one is asleep, many contradictory activities appear in one's dreams. When one awakens, however, these activities automatically merge into the mind. Similarly, as long as one is under the influence of the material energy, he makes many plans and schemes. But when one is Krishna conscious, such dreamlike plans automatically disappear. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Through the personality of Rantideva, we can get a clear idea about what is the nature of a pure devotee. So Rantideva's behavior in the beginning of this narration may appear to be similar to that of a pious materialist. He felt compassion for suffering people, and if he could relieve their suffering by doing something Physically, he definitely did it. Like he shared whatever food he had, whatever prasadam he had, whatever water he shared it. And he took satisfaction in that. But the real background consciousness is entirely different from that of a pious materialist. How do we know that? What was his reaction when those people who had come to actually test him, the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods, they had appeared in the form of a Brahmana, a Shudra, a Chandala, etc. So when they revealed their identity and they were ready to give him any benediction that he wanted because of his exalted great personality, he passed their test. But it is described here, Rantideva, as a pure devotee, he had no ambition to enjoy any material benefits from the demigods. Why? Because as a pure devotee, he is completely free from all material desires. And if at all he desires anything, he desires pure devotional service. That is always the desire of the devotee. Devotees, whenever, like Dhruva Maharaj, when he pleased Kubera by his action, that he stopped killing the yakshas on Kubera's request. So then Kubera was very pleased and said, I can give you any benediction that you may ask. Dhruva Maharaj straight away asked him one thing. He asked him, what did he ask? Anybody remembers? Pure devotional service, yes. In what form did he ask for pure devotional service? May I always be absorbed in hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord. When Prahlad was asked by Narasimhadev, you may take any benediction that you want. What did he ask? Let there be no material desires within the core of my heart. So you always see pure devotees, they have no material desires. And in fact, they want to, as long as they're in the material world, they want to be always free from material desires. This is a characteristic of a pure devotee. They always want to be free from material desires. And even if they are pure devotees who are fixed up completely in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, because of it, there's no possibility they will ever again develop material desires, even in contact with this material world. But still, they always are humble. And they teach us that don't become proud of your position, of your situation. Be cautious, be careful. Because Krishna says that this material energy, illusory energy, is very difficult to overcome. Daivi hesha gunamayi mamamaya duratyaya. But Krishna also says you can easily cross over it if you completely surrender to Krishna. Mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So, such pure devotees who are instructing us actually, they are teaching by their own example that they are free from material desires, and they always want to be free from material desires even while they are in this material world. And even if devatas try to give them some benediction, they don't take any material benedictions. They never want, they never take, they never ask, they never accept. There are many instances in the Bhagavatam of the Supreme Lord himself offering some benediction to the devotees. And sometimes even the devatas, they want to offer some benedictions. Khatvanga Maharaj, he fought on behalf of the devatas, and he was able to secure victory for the demigods, for the devatas, in the battle against the asuras. But when the devatas were very, very happy with him and celebrating their victory, they were asking him, because of you, we won this battle. So what benediction can we give you? He didn't say, I want a particular benediction, or I don't want. He never said that. He just said, because devatas are expert in calculating this astrological or astronomical calculations. He asked, how much more time I have left in this body? So they calculated and said, 1 muhurta. So immediately he left that place and he went to a Vishnu temple and simply fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Because he had only 1 muhurta time left. That is the business of a devotee. Especially at the time of death, a devotee wants to be completely absorbed in thought of Krishna. And it is very clear, Khatvanga Maharaj, even though he was engaged in other activities, he was always conscious that my real business is Krishna consciousness, not these material activities. So Krishna also arranges for his devotee that the devotee, even if he becomes busy with other activities, at the end of life, the devotee will simply become busy with Krishna consciousness. See the example of the Pandavas. The 5 Pandavas, they were never interested in enjoying a kingdom, ruling, royal comfort, no. But Krishna ordered Yudhishthira Maharaj, you rule the kingdom. He said, okay. But how long will he rule? He is always trying to find out, how long does Krishna want me to rule? So he sent Arjuna, find out what is Krishna's next program. So Arjuna went and came back and said, what is Krishna's next program? He's gone back to his personal abode. He's wound up his pastimes. Yudhishthira said, finished. That's all. Our duty is now over. Now what should we do? Mahaprasthana. Retire from all these activities by handing over charge to their grandson whom they had prepared, Parikshit, and then just completely fix the mind and the consciousness and the attention on Krishna. Always thinking of Krishna, simply keep walking, 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 till there is life in this body. All the many great kings, when it was time to prepare for quitting the body, They simply handed over charge of ruling the kingdom to their successor and just went away to exclusively practice Krishna consciousness, fix the mind on Krishna. Whereas for us, we are more fortunate than all those personalities. Why? Because by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we are engaged in Krishna consciousness even while we may be doing our routine activities and maintaining this body or doing some material duties. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us this. And this is what Krishna instructs in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. All the time you think of me. But he doesn't say only think of me. He says you think of me or you remember me and also simultaneously carry out your prescribed duties. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us how we can do it. Just like this Ranti Deva. Let's, in this context, let's understand Ranti Deva's way of always being Krishna conscious. So, by his actions, he is always Krishna conscious because he's seeing every living being as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And seeing everybody as part and parcel of Supreme Lord means acting in a way that will be pleasing to Krishna as regards his dealings with other living beings also. So he will always try to distribute Krishna consciousness. So more than his sharing the food for relieving their hunger, he was actually simply trying to share prasadam. Simply trying to share prasadam. He just requires some excuse to engage in such welfare activities, Krishna conscious welfare activity for everyone. By his ruling the kingdom in a Krishna conscious way itself, he is basically distributing Krishna consciousness to everybody. But in addition to that, he demonstrates his consciousness, his completely Krishna consciousness, by his specific activities other than his routine duties. You see? When the Devatas are giving him benediction, because he had no desire to enjoy any material benefits from them, so he offered them obeisances. Not that I don't want anything from you, get lost. No. As a pure devotee, what is the behavior of pure devotee? He always offers respects to other devotees. Always offers respects to other devotees. So one of the regulative principles for us who are practicing devotees, Srila Rupa Goswami gives in the Nectar of Devotion, 64 principles of sadhana bhakti. He says one should offer proper respect to devatas. One should offer proper respect to devatas. So Ranti Deva is teaching us by his own conduct. When he saw devatas, he offered them obeisances. But worship is exclusively for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and nobody else. That doesn't mean we offer respect to demigods. Doesn't mean we worship demigods. No. We don't worship demigods. We offer respects to them. As they are all devotees of Vishnu. Vishnu Bhaktas Mrutodaiva. Therefore, we should offer respects to them. They are devotees. But we worship Krishna only. Then somebody may ask, why do we worship Prabhupada? Guru, why do you worship Guru? Because Guru's position in relationship with the demigods is described by Krishna himself in the Bhagavatam. Sarva Deva Mayo Guruhu. The Guru is sum total of all the Devatas. His position is higher than that of the Devatas in this material world. So while we are in the material world, we also offer respects to the spiritual master and worship him like we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like we worship the Supreme Personality. Acharya mam vijaniyat na avamanyeta karhichit. Mad bhakta puja abhyadika. Krishna says, worship of my devotee is greater than worship of me. How much importance Krishna gives to worshipping his devotee means pure devotee. Pure devotee. And particularly among the pure devotees, the pure devotee spiritual master is to be specially worshipped every day. Nityam. Nitya Aradhana. Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita. Acharya Upasanam. Acharyopasanam. Worship of the Acharya. Such Acharya is a pure devotee spiritual master coming in parampara. He is a representative of Krishna and he comes from the spiritual world exclusively for Krishna's mission. Such a spiritual master we should worship every day. But we don't worship Devatas. We don't worship Devatas. So there's no question of taking benediction from Devatas, asking them for some help or benediction. No. But in rare instances, we also see if there is some tradition of worshipping Devatas, just like young unmarried girls in the Vedic tradition, they are taught to worship Katyayani to get a good husband. So the gopis, apparently they were worshipping Katyayani like others to get a good husband. But they were not doing so like other ordinary persons, ordinary girls. No. They were worshipping Katyayani to get Krishna as their husband. So even if they sometimes engaged in some tradition, Vedic tradition, but that will also be simply for the sake of devotional service, simply for the sake of remaining a pure devotee. This is Dhruva. He is asking benediction from Kuvera when offered a benediction. But he is asking the benediction also, no material benediction. No material. The same Dhruva, when he was asked by the Supreme Lord, take some benediction. He said, Varam na yache. I don't want anything, ask anything from you. Why? Because I've got you. What more can I aspire for? What more can I ask for? I don't want anything. I have you, my dear Lord. So therefore, devotees don't have anything to ask. Even from the Supreme Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us, we don't ask for anything except one thing. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahitu ki tvayi. Just ask for pure devotional service, constant engagement in pure devotional service. So in this way, Rantideva, he fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And it is described by Shukadeva Goswami, glorifying Rantideva now in the 17th verse. Because Rantideva was a pure devotee, always Krishna conscious and free from all material desires. He is a pure devotee. He is not another pious person in this material world. No. That he has proved by his behavior when the devatas appeared. He did not ask for any benediction, but he offered his obeisances to them. That's the way a pure devotee treats the demigods. And he's always Krishna conscious. Therefore, his mind was always fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. And consequently, he is always free from material desires. He has no material desires. Because he is always Krishna conscious. Because he is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Fixed up in Krishna consciousness and pure devotional service. So he has naturally no material desires. But here, Shukadeva Goswami is telling the result of him being always Krishna conscious is the Lord's illusory energy Maya could not exhibit herself before him. He is in the material world. Material world means always the three gunas are acting, influencing all the living entities. But the illusory energy or the gunas cannot touch the pure devotee who is always Krishna conscious. So therefore, for a pure devotee like Rantideva, Maya could not exhibit herself before him. Maya will not touch him. Maya will not influence him. Maya will not allure him. Maya will not exert her influence of the gunas on his consciousness. How is that? Maya entirely vanished exactly like a dream for Rantideva. Swapnavat pratyaliyata. Gunamayi Maya swapnavat pratyaliyata. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, the word swapnavat is significant in this connection. Why is this compared to a dream? Because in the material world, ordinarily people's mind is absorbed in material activities. So in the dream, what happens for an ordinary person whose mind is otherwise absorbed in material activities, there are so many contradictory activities appearing in the dream. See, different kinds of experience we have in the dream. Sometimes we have nice dreams, sometimes we have unpleasant dreams, sometimes we have some experience disconnected totally from our present life or existence. All kinds of experiences we have. And many times people try to understand what is actually the meaning of this dream for me in my real life. What is its significance, or what is the lesson to be learned, or what is the signal? Something about the future, something about some danger, something about some good fortune, etc., etc. But here, what is said is, as soon as one awakens, all these activities which were going on in the dream condition, they automatically merge into the mind. They disappear. Isn't it? Whatever is maybe happening in the dream, as soon as you awaken, finished. Immediately those activities are finished. Good, bad, desirable, undesirable. You have no need to bother about them anymore. In fact, it is very common experience that as soon as you wake up, oh, it was a dream. And what do? Simply ignore that and go on with your actual activities in the wakeful state. So similarly, for a devotee who is always Krishna conscious, all that in the wakeful state also, for a devotee, there is no planning for material ambitions to be fulfilled, no material desires. So, the influence of Maya, which impels us to make plans for material enjoyment, to make plans for avoiding material distress, all this plan making and working for fulfillment of some desires or for avoiding some misery, all that completely vanishes because the devotee is Krishna conscious. Is awake in Krishna consciousness. Is awake in Krishna consciousness. Is active in Krishna consciousness. Just like your dreams disappear when you awaken from sleep. Exactly like that, when we become fully Krishna conscious, we come out of this illusion and dreamlike condition of material existence, and all our desires, our ambitions, our plans, our material calculations, everything is finished. Everything is finished. And our only business is Krishna consciousness. That's all. No more anything to do with the dream or the material condition, material existence, nothing. So we have to become Krishna conscious. And for that, Prabhupada says, to become Krishna conscious, if one wants to be free from the influence of Maya, one must become Krishna conscious. And how to become Krishna conscious? Krishna has taught us. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always think of Krishna. And how do you always think of Krishna? By constantly chanting Hare Krishna and engaging in devotional activities in connection or relationship with this chanting Hare Krishna. So that way we practice always being Krishna minded or Krishna conscious within the core of the heart. Always chanting, always doing some activities which are Krishna conscious activities, or always while engaging even routine duties, keep chanting, vibrating your tongue softly, even if you cannot vibrate loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare. For somebody like Ranti Deva, that is not required to always keep chanting or always keep remembering consciously. No. Automatically that happens because in the core of his heart, his attention or consciousness or mind is always fixed on the lotus feet of Vishnu. So everything he sees, everything he does in relationship with the Supreme Lord. That's all. So no act, even ordinary activities are always Krishna conscious activities. His eating, his sleeping, everything is in relationship with devotional service. And that is the art of doing devotional service. We have to learn that from the Acharya, from the bona fide spiritual master, by studying his books, by hearing his discourses, by practicing whatever he has taught us in the way he has taught us to practice. That way, we can transform our consciousness, and that is what is required ultimately to perfect our spiritual life. I'll stop here. Grantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.